This is.
That's a bigger,
We got 1 minute.
bigger show.
Usual
That's
stuff.
next week, right?
We got a few.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
No.
Is Madison here, Kathy?
She's in
Saw
the
her in
building.
the hallway.
Yeah,
I was coming in here pregnant.
with her.
You want me to see if I see? I actually have to go back to my office.
I've tried everything. It's just the pollen's too bad right now.
Shot of whiskey.
Budget report.
Sure. Well, I don't know, next
I'll
one.
give you mine to look at. We'll look at it together.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay?
Yep.
We have the worst luck.
Surprise tomorrow.
Skip it.
Why don't we cancel the workshop since nobody's here?
I know. We're down to 2 parents.
Yeah, but they're not real parents. I mean, they're real people, but they're community activists.
Yes.
Hi, Madison.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good. What's that, Kat? Is he set on? Yeah, we're all set. Set?
Don't be scared.
It's sick. It's just
Okay.
allergy.
Oh, that's fine.
Bring the meeting to order. It is April 9th, 2012, meeting of the North Reading School Committee. Normally, we begin each of our meetings with public input. If there's anybody that'd like to discuss anything other than budget items, please raise your hand. You'll be recognized. Okay, then we're going to move on. Next is our student report. Tonight, we have Madison Capizzuto here. Madison, the floor is yours.
Okay. So, I'll start with what was going on today at the high school. We had HIVE, which, as I mentioned before, is our program at the high school. It stands for Helping Individuals Value Everyone. Today, our topics were achievements and personal accomplishments, and we touched a little bit upon goal setting. So it was interesting. We take about 20 minutes to half an hour, and we just go over these. We have a couple team building exercises, and it incorporates students from all different grade levels. Next, we have Project Purple on April 24th, which is this program that one of our freshman students brought back from the Hyannis Student Council trip. She attended a workshop by Chris Herron, who's an ex-NBA player, and she was very moved by his speech. He was telling the kids a little bit about how, his story, really just very briefly. He was in the NBA and he lost his career due to a drug addiction, and now he goes around and he speaks about, why it's important to stay away from drugs, alcohol, and that sort of thing. And so what he does is his Project Purple, which is the day where he gets everybody to wear purple to sort of support his cause. So we're doing that at the high school on the 24th, which is also the day of the sad mock car crash. And again, that's April 24th. Boys lacrosse had an away game today at Georgetown, and softball is playing against Triton. Today was the first day of the 4th quarter, and teachers' grades for 3rd quarter are due on Wednesday. We have the Mr. Nrhs Pageant, which is hosted by Student Council this Thursday at 7 p.m. in the high school auditorium. Tickets are being sold during lunches and will be sold at the door. Varsity baseball took their trip to Cape Cod last weekend, and they have a game tomorrow against Hamilton Wenham. Boys tennis also has a game tomorrow, and it's at home versus Linfield. And varsity boys and girls track has a home meet Wednesday. Italy travelers leave Thursday, and April vacation begins Friday. So, yep.
Any questions from Madison before she goes into the schoolwork?
Okay. And then for my student work, it's behind me. Actually, I'll talk a little bit about it first and then hold it up, if that's okay. Okay. So in my U.S. History 2 class, we just finished studying World War II. And this project that we had to do is a research-based project. And it was on life on the home front, so like what, American people were going through during the war. And it had to incorporate, economic impact, social impact, and political impact. And it's a project that I worked on with another student. in my class, Emma Staniswaso, and it had to have 10 different topics and images, you know, based on these different things. So I can, I don't have to read through it all because that would take forever. But thank you.
Why don't you show the audience?
Sure. It's kind of big. We call it the mural. But so like I said, it just kind of deals with, you know, how people were coping during that time, and you know, if you guys have any questions or anything. But it's pretty in depth, so we'll just kind of leave it at that.
Maddie, what were the headings on each one?
Okay, this one is the Zoot Riots, which took place in California, so more West Coast. Bracero program, that was sort of in the Midwest. We have Office of Price Administration and Rationing. That's pretty self-explanatory. Office of Censorship. Rosie the Riveter. The War Production Board. Tuskegee Airmen. Office of War Information. United Service Organization. And then Japanese internment.
Excellent.
Very diverse.
Very relevant topics. Thank you. Any questions of Madison? No project?
Oh, that's great.
I'm glad to see the teaching World War II. I mean, I think, I was going to say when I was a kid, but it had just happened. But they always seem to skip over those areas. But maybe that's because it wasn't over or something. I don't know. But
To be fair,
excellent
I didn't
medicine.
have, I didn't get to it, and I graduated high
No, a
school
lot
in
of-
'96.
Yeah, they just never seem to get that far
I
up
lived
in
through it.
American history. You lived through
You
it.
lived
Thank you, Madison.
You're welcome.
That's
Thanks
great.
very much.
Thank you.
There's no gas rationing stands on there.
Madison, obviously, you're free to leave if you need to go, because I'm sure you have work to do for tonight, too.
Thank you.
Okay, next on our agenda is our regular MSBA, SSBC school updates. I'll ask the superintendent to deliver that.
Okay, very good. Thank you. The last SSBC meeting was held on Tuesday, April 3rd at 6:30 p.m., and the CM at Risk selection is well underway. 5 packages were submitted, and a comprehensive process was used to score the candidates, leading to a decision. And the subcommittee that worked on this process will share their results with the SSBC at the next meeting. The committee also discussed preliminary steps to move the modular classrooms at the middle school, and the architects and the OPM will be working very closely with the administration to map out this process in the very near future. Geotechnical engineers will conduct borings around the middle school and the high school during April vacation. So we have made it known for those of us that will be here that there will be some noises and some vibration as those borings are taking place. We're now moving out of schematic design and into design development. Our architect, Brad Dorr, took us through a timeline of some of the next steps. Design development will last about 4 months, followed by construction development. That will take about another 5 months. Bidding for the project should take about 2 months. Construction will last for approximately 31 months, and closing out the project should take about 2 months, some of that happening concurrently. Invoices were submitted and reviewed and approved, and our architect shared a revised flyby of the project. We saw the face of the distance learning lab transition just a little bit, and now the appearance of that distance learning lab is no longer flat face, but it appears bowed, even though the windows are segmented. It's not bowed glass, but it appears bowed. It's very, very attractive. So it continues to get better and better every time one of the flybys is shared with us. The subcommittees and their members will be identified at the next SSBC meeting, and that meeting is tentatively scheduled now for next week. Oh, no, this week,
This week,
Tuesday,
April 10th, I believe.
April 10th. We had scheduled a meeting for next week, April 17th, and we're still waiting for confirmation from Chris Simler around that. And that's it at this particular
And just so
time.
everybody knows, the meeting is open to the public, anybody that wants to attend, and I know we have people here that regularly attend. But the secondary school building committee meetings are all open to the public. Any questions or comments from the committee? Mel?
Question, I see a lot of design development, construction development, when
Practically done.
when actually will we start, I know we're gonna move the modulars first, but when will construction actually begin in earnest on the project?
I think you could start doing some site work as early as possibly June, depending on if we can get the.
May?
Yeah, if we can get the construction manager at risk aboard soon, which I think we're going to. So I think you'll see some things starting in June.
What exactly is construction development? I've never heard that term
Those are
before.
the specific, go ahead, Cliff, you're better qualified than I am.
The process that we've been through is schematic design. That gets you to the 15% level. The next piece of this is the design development. And that's where all of the systems are further fleshed out, decided on. And then when those are kind of ready, then they'll move into the construction documents phase. And that's when the final plans that are going to be used for construction will be produced.
I like
So
blueprints
there's-
almost
there's
now,
a-
like when they start
there's-
showing exactly where.
Yeah.
There's
beams are
drawings
going.
all along, but we can finally get to the ones that matter. All matter, but to the ones that actually bid on. And those are in much more detail, and the specifications are prepared. And that's what we look to the constructors, the subcontractors working for our construction manager to produce the product that meets those specifications and plans. So that's the step that we go through. But as far as construction, there'll be early construction packages wrapped into this construction manager's package that will go out through late fall, early winter, doing preparation of the roadway, foundations for some of the buildings. We'll start clearing, preparation of the staging areas for construction equipment and materials laydown. There's a whole lot of things that can happen before the actual final construction process starts.
So, one question is, they're still expecting, there's no changes in the schedule, they're still expecting.
No, they will update us, Mel, monthly on the schedule.
Yeah.
But right now, I think the project completion would be still scheduled for November of 2015.
But I mean, in the dates for the openings of the two different
Same.
schools.
Same.
They're the same. The construction managers packed proposals that were submitted on the 29th, I believe. Their proposals had various alternatives in them. And some of those schedules were shorter. Shorter schedules have an advantage in that they reduce the cost of the project, potentially. And at the same time, they upset the magic dates of starting up after summer. So there's a quicker move has to be done.
And
Yes.
remember, all of our phasing is based on trying to do it so it's during the summer months. All the phasing's scheduled that way.
I guess the comment is, since this is the first project we've done under the MSBA, it's an education process because it's far different than the other three projects that we did, where the plans were done pretty much close to done when the project was approved.
Well,
There's a difference.
They were further down the track
Yeah,
than they are with
but-
this
but the-
process.
the architect's plans obviously can't be completed up front because if the project's not approved, you've got a
Right.
significant investment in it. So it's kind of the way the MSBA sees it done. But you're right, Mel, it is a little bit different.
But the principal difference here is this is the first project we've done with a construction manager at risk.
Okay.
And that is an entirely different ballgame.
Okay. Thanks, Mel. Any other questions?
I only have one
Karen?
question.
Yep.
So now that we've transitioned into this new phase, what are the roles of the school committee members that are serving on the board? What's your involvement
To
going to be like?
to continue to have input into, well, approvals, obviously, of all the invoices, approvals of the different decisions that are made
Okay.
during construction. In fact, last meeting, what we talked about and what's going to be necessary is to form at least one subcommittee, maybe two, to start picking out materials, to start picking out, various systems and things like that. So the committee will continue to meet, perhaps not quite as regularly as in the past.